All right. Now I can kind of help answer these questions and hopefully finish this up for you guys. So, like I said, I covered a good number or a good amount of these topics that were originally asked. So let's see. Okay. Any ways that an officer can make their mind stronger or to prevent mental disorders or stress in the future? A lot of the mental disorders that people have, they're already going to be more susceptible to those. They are basically it's from birth. Some of them are you're more predisposed to becoming you know or suffer from a disorder. But anything else that you may be talking about that things you might develop like PTSD, things like that. Um, honestly. Um, a big part of it is learning how to deal with stress and anxiety. Um, and some people may not like to hear some of this stuff, but I mean, I will be honest with you, and that's what I try to always do. I believe that having a relationship and having a relationship with God and having faith helps tremendously. I know that people who still have that they may have a relationship with God and have a strong faith and still struggle sometimes with something mentally as far as anxiety, stress, etc. But it has been shown that people who um, have have faith and also say pray on a regular basis. This has been a research topic that they tend to have. Those who pray more actually have longer, healthier lives. In general, I know that like I said, I know there's always exceptions, but that's been researched before. Also, you just having a network of friends and people you trust in law enforcement as well as outside law enforcement will help tremendously. Uh, because this job can be very stressful for some people. Um, it's stressful anyway, but some people more so than others, find it very stressful. And if it's truly that stressful, I'm not trying to push you out of doing this job, but if it gets to that point, maybe you do need to look somewhere else. But as far as when you want to stay and you think this is really what you want to do, just try to find a network of people that you trust. Have a good relationship with them. Continue to talk with them. That's probably the best thing I could tell you because there's so much mental stuff that goes into anything and everything you do. You have to learn how to have outlets, and not dangerous outlets, drinking or guns and all that stuff. They're not in and of themselves, and certain quantities are not terrible things. But when you mix them or when you have too much of anything like that, it's not ideal. So keep that in mind. Just to be emotionally stable and try to keep yourself even keel. See the positive things in life, which can be kind of difficult sometimes in this job, but that's probably my best advice for you. Um, okay, here's another one, which I agree with. Sadly, it's becoming the norm in law enforcement for officers to either to be overweight or expected to gain weight after the academy. Is the job so overbearing mentally that officers don't have the motivation to keep up with their physical and health appearance, or are officers struggling to find time to work out due to extensive shifts and overtime? I think it's a combination of both of those, but even more goes into it. Okay, so talking about yes, some people do have work overtime because you're starting off, you like the job, but you also, let's be honest, you're probably not going to be making a lot of money, and a lot of people when they first start may have debt from whether it be a mortgage they have or other bills that they have to pay, car payments, etc. And they think, oh, well, I want to try to get ahead on things, or I want to save money for you name it, whatever it is. So they work more. That's great, but your body and your mind need a break at some point in time. So that's part of it, and you need to physically. There is a direct connection between physical and mental health. Um, People who are physically healthy tend to also be mentally healthy because there are neurotransmitters, there are hormones that get released that are actually good for your body. Um, and stress creates makes your body release what's called cortisol, and cortisol actually cause your body to do this, which is store fat and do other things like that. So don't do that. But yeah, working out is good for you mentally and physically. I think that besides, people use the excuse of, oh, I don't have time, or it's not demanded. I don't need it. They basically become lazy because they know that they've already made it to the academy. They've already been hired, and most departments don't have the standards of testing that they should and need to have, like on a continual basis, to say, okay, every year you have to meet these standards. But what happens is a lot of departments say, oh, well, you'll make it. I'll just keep you because I've hired you. Well, I'll just keep you on, and whatever. I'm not going to worry about your physical condition. Which is a bad idea for a lot of reasons. But then they do that, or they slack off on their standards. Say, oh, well, because you're older. Well, guess what? Because you're older, because you're a female, or any of those things, male, female, age doesn't matter. If I'm a bad guy, I don't care about all of that. If you see on this, should I run? Oh, hell yeah. If I see something like that and I'm really needing to get away, like I've done something that I'm probably going to be arrested for and go to prison for, I'm not going to let this person keep me from being free, if you want to call it that. Good luck. So there's that side of it. And here's the other thing from a hiring standpoint, and department standpoint. Look at all the heart conditions. Look at all the other health problems that this person's more susceptible for, or look at the liability that they are, both for themselves or anybody else that they, another officer or people in public. That's how I view it, and that's why I think it's a problem. I think so many people have become lazy. That's just to be honest with you. So many people are lazy, and society says, "Oh, you can't shame someone into being healthy. We should all accept you for how you are." Yeah, until you're actually trying to do a job that, which I don't agree with the whole thing anyway. But until you're trying to do a job that you have other people's lives at stake and your own, yes, it does matter. So that's something else to consider, and it is frustrating to see that. It's been around for a long time, but it's just society has become more accepting of it, and I don't agree with it. And that's why you see some of these other problems that we have. So let's see. I'm trying to cover something that hasn't been asked yet. Okay, what are the steps police departments have been doing to try to reduce levels of stress that can be both applied to both mentally and physical issues in law enforcement? I hate to tell people this, but this job has stresses. You shouldn't have to wait on your department to do things for you, to help you handle stress. Some of them will offer different options, but a lot of it comes down to your own ability and willingness to actually do things to reduce stress, to actually work out, and be physically fit, be mentally fit. If you want something badly enough, this is stuff that you should do, and you shouldn't have to wait on a department to, oh, hey, we're going to train you. Find out for yourself. That's just my opinion. Do I think the departments offer some of that? Yes, but it should not be their responsibility to, and they can't. I hope this question wasn't asked as how can they limit your stress? Because guess what? This job is and can be. I shouldn't say it always is, but it can be stressful, but it can also be very rewarding. So that's just part of it. You have to learn how to handle life and the stresses of life without someone else telling you exactly how to do it. So let's see. Okay. What are some ways officers and students hoping to become officers can stay motivated? Whenever in times like these that we have right now with COVID-19 and all gyms are closed, you don't need a gym to work out. If you can do a push-up, if you can pick things up, if you can go outside and do any type of exercise, whether it be running, whether it be, I don't know, lunges, you can do those things inside or outside. So you don't have to have a gym to go work out. And that's my thing. If you want something badly enough, you will find a way to succeed. I mean, even if it's body weight exercises, which can still be helpful, even if it's isometric, concentric, whatever type of exercises you can find. Do those. You know, that's the simple thing, and then you work on your mobility, flexibility, things like that. But you can still do strength exercises. You can still do running, which I think running distances, even though they require it to get in, when you're actually doing the job, I think it's a waste of time because you're not going to chase someone for 5 miles. And when you fight someone, you don't go like, hey, we're going to go fight 50% for 5 minutes. It's going to be all you've got to try to gain control over the situation. So that's a whole different thing. But yeah, get outside as best you can. Go to parks. I don't care if you do something in your own little apartment complex or wherever you're at, in your garage or basement, whatever. You can do those things in there physically. So let's see what else I can answer. I think I've pretty much answered everything pretty much. So, all right. If you have anything else, just email me. But keep up with your work. Notice that I've also opened up your assignments in case you missed some of those. It's going to be partial credit. But other than that, that's what I have for you guys. But get ready for your final and keep checking for your different assignments that I will have coming up. So good luck with everything.